Hi there, and welcome to the Real You podcast. I'm Millie Jane, and I'm your go-to kinesiologist and also mindset mentor for women who are in business. And you're women who are really done with self-doubt, you're done with perfectionism and wanting everything to be perfect. So that leads to procrastination, and you don't actually end up achieving what you want to. And then on top of that, you've got that inner critic voice that really keeps holding you back. And it's really, really loud. So ask yourself, have you ever felt like you're really not good enough? Do you always second guess yourself? And do you feel like you're just in that cycle of procrastination, sabotage? Then if that's the case, this podcast is going to be for you. Because guess what? That really loud voice that's in your head that keeps telling you you're not ready, and it's the voice in your head that says you're not smart enough, or you don't know enough, or you don't look good enough, or you're not something else enough. It's actually lying to you because it's trying to keep you safe. I know, right? It's weird, isn't it? That something we want so badly, we're listening to that inner critic voice, so we're pulling back and we're not actually achieving exactly what we want because we're sabotaging and we're procrastinating. So we're in a real cycle of it. So I'm actually here to help you shut it down, silence it, so you can think clearly enough and you can show up confidently. And that will allow you to attract more clients and make more money in your business. Because think back to your why of why did I start my business in the first place? I don't want to be in a 9 to 5. I don't want to have a loud, annoying boss on my case every 2 minutes. I want the freedom of being able to attend my child's, concert that they're doing at school. I want to be able to only work, a certain amount of hours a week. I want to have one day off a week where I can go and have a massage, or I can catch up with my friends, or whatever your reasoning is. But you also know that you have the ability to increase your income to the level that you want to and that you desire, even though you may be trying to sabotage it and stop yourself from actually achieving what you want to. So, a little bit about me. Who am I and why am I so passionate about this? So, let me take you back a few years, and I used to struggle really, really hard with self-doubt. Self-doubt just surrounded me. It was in me, it was in my head, it was in my body, it was causing all sorts of problems. And if you're like me, you've hired lots of different coaches, you've paid out a lot of money, you had all the strategies, and you know how to put them into place, and you know how to get the clients in, and you know how to make money. You've done all the courses, you've got all the business advice, you've watched everyone else and scrolled through, a million TikTok reels, and got lots of different freebies and lead magnets in, and you've read them all. But none of it's working because you don't actually believe in yourself. Deep down inside of you, you don't actually believe in yourself. Now, why is that? I always had this constant inner dialogue telling me, that I wasn't good enough and I was never going to succeed. And why is someone going to buy from me, And I should probably just stay quiet, play it really safe. And if I play it safe, no one's actually going to see me or hear me. So no one's going to know about me though, which then means I'm not going to attract clients and I'm not going to make money in my business. So I've actually got an expensive hobby. And I bet that sounds familiar to a lot of you. But then everything really changed for me. I started studying massage and I hurt myself, so I had to find something else to do. And I saw this thing on Google called kinesiology, and I couldn't really even pronounce it, but it's kinesiology. Now, When I discovered that, I rang and asked about it. They said, go and have a session and see if you like it. Because it's not for everyone, the same as massage isn't for everyone, or Reiki isn't for everyone, or yoga isn't for everyone. So I did that and I fell in love with it. I had no idea what actually went on in the session. I was just like, how does this woman know about what happened to me when I was at age 4? And she keeps testing my arm, gentle pushing on my arm. And then she's asking me these questions. And then she's saying, well, what happened here and this age? And it was like, whoa. But then at the end of the session, I sort of sat up and I just felt 1,000 pounds lighter, like someone had taken 2 huge rocks off of my shoulder. And I just felt so different and so just relaxed, and this inner calm within me. And I was just like hooked. I was like, I've got to find more, more about this. It's just like, what on earth just happened to me? But I feel fantastic. So I actually booked another session and went back a few days later and had another session. And I asked a few questions of the kinesiologist, and I was really hooked. And so I rang back and I started this study. And after the first weekend, the amount of information I was learning and this knowledge was being thrown at me, and I was thriving on it, but I was also terrified on the inside, like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? It's too much. And, all that inner dialogue, that inner critic was sort of saying, you're not good enough to be doing this, and, all of this sort of stuff. But once you start studying kinesiology, you're doing healings on each other, you start to heal within yourself. And that's when your confidence starts to grow and you leave those fears behind you. And it's a freaking amazing feeling when that happens. So kinesiology is the power of nervous system regulation. And it's about how to rewire your mindset. And I learned how to silence my inner critic. I stopped procrastinating and I finally really started showing up as the real me, the real Millie, the real Melissa Jane, which is my birth name. And when that happened, that's when I found that I was attracting clients in who were interested in what I was saying and how I could help them. And that's when my business really, really took off. And so now I help women just like you do exactly the same thing, because I don't want to see you sitting there just going round and round and round in circles and not attracting clients and not making money in your business. Yes, you're there to help and serve your clients. But at the end of the day, if you don't attract in paying clients and you don't make money in your business, you have an expensive hobby. So I want to help you get off the merry-go-round. And I want you to know that success isn't just about having the right business strategy. It's about having confidence to actually use it. So what to expect from this podcast? So every week I'm going to be sharing practical tools to silence your inner critic. I'll be looking at mindset shifts to help you actually break free from perfectionism. And I'll also offer you some kinesiology tips for actually regulating your nervous system and helping you feel calm when you step into your business. We'll be doing real talk on entrepreneurship, self-worth, making more money without burning out. So some of the hot topics that I'm going to be talking about is fear of judgment. So when we worry about what others will think about us, when we fear being criticized or laughed at, and when we have that concern about like negative comments coming back to us or having someone troll us. We'll also be looking at not feeling good enough, because that is a huge one, especially for us women. We struggle to prioritize responsibility for ourselves and putting ourselves first. So we'll be looking at thinking that you don't have enough knowledge or expertise, feeling like an imposter. I mean, imposter syndrome is a big thing in anyone's life when they start a business. especially online, because you're reaching millions of people out there and there will be trolls. But there are ways to handle that, and the block finger becomes very, very prominent with a lot of people because you cannot please everybody all of the time, and there'll always be people who don't agree with you. We'll look at comparing yourself to others who seem more confident, who seem like they're making a lot of money in their business. We'll be looking at perfectionism and overthinking, and everything to do with about how you want to look and be perfect before going live on social media. We're going to look at when you stress about saying the wrong thing, or worse still, when your brain goes blank and all of a sudden you've lost your train of thought. That's a really big stress for many women. We're going to be looking at how you overanalyze, how you look, how you sound, how you actually appear on camera. Like today, my hair's a little bit sticky outy in different places, but I'm not worried about that because you could be looking at me, but I hope that what I'm saying is actually resonating with you and you're listening to me more than you're worrying about what I actually look like. Because, you know, I'm over 50, let's face it. I still mentally only feel 35 and I behave like that. And, you know, quite frankly, if you don't like the way that I look, turn the camera off and you can just listen to me. If you don't like the way that I sound, then I may not be the right person for you to get the advice from, you know, that I know I can help you, but not everybody is a sound fit to work with everybody else. And that's okay because we're all different. We'll also be talking about like the tech and the anxiety that's setting up, say, going live or the tech side of your business. You know, when you feel overwhelmed by the tech side of, you know, lighting and sound and the internet and how to do things, we look at when you worry about glitching and, you know, those awkward silences I was talking about, when things actually go wrong, which they do from time to time. But it's okay because we're human, we're authentic, we're showing the true side of us and our business. That's totally fine. We're going to be talking about, you know, the stress that if you don't actually know how to structure a live properly. And, you know, you can just push live, go live and start talking, but it's nice to structure it a little bit, but still be authentic in doing so. I'm going to be talking about something that is a real passion in my heart, and it's the lack of confidence in speaking up, in speaking out, and feeling heard, feeling safe to be seen, safe to be heard, which is a massive one. We're going to be looking at struggling with nerves and not knowing what to say, the fear of freezing up, losing your train of thought, speaking too fast because you're too nervous, or too slow because your brain's not processing at the normal speed because you're just shaking with nerves. And that's okay. We've all been there, you know. I used to be there too. And I am the perfect person to help you because I know exactly what that feels like. I'm going to be looking at fear of low engagement, like, you know, the likes and worrying that no one is going to show up, and feeling really discouraged if you don't actually have anyone show up, or if they do and they just watch, they don't interact or comment. We're going to be looking at comparing your engagement to others and, you know, how that can make you feel like you're failing. And one of my favorite things to talk about is emotional and mindset blocks. Now, your inner critic voice is really good at telling you that you're going to fail. And we also have a fear of being too vulnerable, you know, telling too much, giving away too much, making a mistake. I mean, we're all terrified of making a mistake and being laughed at, being judged, even being rejected from it. Talking about struggling with self-worth and how we can actually believe in ourselves more. Talking about time and energy constraints, because let's face it, you know, a lot of us are mums. We, you know, might have be married, have partners, where, you know, some of us are, you know, working as well as trying to run our business. You know, life gets in the way. You've got to try and combine that work-life balance with life, children, business, other things that's going on in your life. Worrying about maintaining consistency in business. Now, this is probably the biggest thing that I have ever struggled with, and I still struggle sometimes with it in this day and age, even though I've done lots of healing. But I now am aware of it, and I am the type of person that I cannot do a full day of batching. I can't do a full day of doing videos and content and lives and things like that. I'm much better to do, say, a 2-hour block than doing a 7-hour block. And everybody's different. And some people love to just, run through it and get it all done in the one day. And then they either, cut up all their videos and do all the editing and stuff and have it all ready, or they outsource it to someone else, or they just schedule it. I need to break it up into smaller parts. And that's just me. And that's how I work better in my own business. And that's what it's all about. We're going to talk about how selling feels awkward. Now, this is a big one at the moment. I've had a very successful program, Confidently Going Live on Facebook, which is now called Confidently Going Live on social media, just because we've got a bit more of an outreach with people in different platforms like LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and that sort of thing. I've had some very good successes with helping women overcome their fear, and they go live after one session. I'm now pivoting a little bit, and I've got a program called Confidently Selling on social media, because I'm finding now that women are really struggling. Like, they can do all the content and they do the lives and they do all of that sort of thing, but they really struggle with the actual call to actions, with asking for money for their services and putting their prices up and things like that. So we don't want to, feel like, and we will be talking about this, the fear of coming across too pushy or salesy. Also talking about not knowing how to confidently talk about your offers and struggling, as I said, with call to actions. And we want to make that feel really natural to you, because you can put out all the content you want in the world and do all the lives that you want in the world, but if you're not asking people to contact you whichever way you do your business and to come in and be a client and pay you for your services, then you still have a very expensive hobby. And of course, I'll have some stories for you. We'll have some guest experts, and we'll be looking at actionable steps that you can take right now so you can start showing up confidently going live, confidently posting, confidently putting out your calls to action, confidently being in your business, and confidently, consistently showing up in your business. Because I know that you're so ready to stop overthinking and you really want to start taking action, but you need to get that huge, deep fear out of the way and change the perspective on it and bring in that resilience and confidence so that you're not worried about what's happening over there. You're just focused on your business. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a hiccup. And achieving your goal of attracting clients and making an income and having a real, true business, not just an expensive hobby. So before we wrap up today's intro episode, I want to leave you with one really powerful thought. I want to leave you with, you are already good enough to succeed. Your inner critic might be really screaming at you right now and telling you otherwise, but here's the truth with that. That voice that's inside your head, it's not actually real. It's not the real you. It's just it's a conditioned response. It's a survival mechanism. But let me tell you that you can rewire it. And I'm here to help you with that. So that's exactly what this podcast is here to help you do. So if you're ready to silence your inner critic, to show up confidently and start building the business and the income that you know that you're meant for, please make sure that you hit follow or subscribe to this podcast. And, hey, if today's episode has resonated with you, please take a screenshot and share it on Instagram or Facebook, and please tag me. On Instagram, it's at Abundance Kinesiology, ABUNDANCEKINESIOLOGY. And I am Millie Jane on Facebook. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway from today's episode. So that's it for today, beautiful souls. Remember, you are powerful, you are capable, and you deserve success. And I believe in you. So I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me today. It's been an absolute blast, and I've really enjoyed it.